You ever notice how some jobs are just inherently riskier than others? I'm talking crab fishing in the Bering Sea, riding garbage trucks on collection day, or even just trying to change a light bulb standing on a wobbly stool. Point is, every job has its hazards. But here's the thing. Accidents don't just happen. They often stem from overlooked risks. That's where a good risk assessment comes in. Want to protect your team and make sure the government doesn't come knocking on your door? In this video, we'll walk you through how to do a proper risk assessment step by step. All right, let's break it down. A risk assessment is basically a common sense look at what could go wrong in your workplace. It's about identifying potential hazards and figuring out how likely they are to actually cause harm. Think of it like this. You wouldn't walk into a mechanic's shop without expecting to see some grease, right? Well, that grease is a hazard. It's slippery, could cause a fire if it gets too hot, and nobody wants to wear it home on their clothes. A risk assessment helps you figure out how to deal with that grease so nobody gets hurt. Now, you might be thinking, Mike, this all sounds like a big pain in the neck. Why bother? Well, for starters, it's usually the law. OSHA and all those other alphabet agencies, they like to see that you're at least trying to keep your workplace safe. But more importantly, it's about protecting your people. Nobody wants to see their co-workers get hurt, and nobody wants to be responsible for an accident that could have been prevented. A risk assessment is a proactive way to identify and address potential problems before they turn into real headaches. And let's be honest, nobody wants a visit from a lawyer. A well-documented risk assessment can be your best friend if something does go wrong. It shows that you were aware of the risks, you took steps to mitigate them, and you were doing everything you could to keep your workplace safe. Think of it as an insurance policy for your business. Let's break it down into 5 simple steps. Step 1, identify the hazards. This means taking a good, hard look at your workplace and thinking about anything that could potentially cause harm. Are there slippery surfaces, heavy machinery, chemicals, frayed electrical cords? You get the idea. Walk around, ask your employees for their input, and don't be afraid to get into the nitty-gritty. Step 2, who's in the splash zone? In other words, who is exposed to these hazards? Is it just your employees, or are there customers, contractors, or even visitors who might be at risk? Identifying who is at risk will help you determine the severity of the hazard and the level of precaution you need to take. Step 3, assess the risk. This is where you figure out how likely it is that a hazard will actually cause harm and how severe that harm might be. A paper cut is one thing, but a severed artery is a whole different ballgame. You can use a simple ranking system like low, medium, or high, or get more detailed with specific risk matrices. The key is to have a system that works for you and your team. Step 4, time to control the chaos. This is where you put measures in place to eliminate or minimize the risks you've identified. This could involve substituting hazardous materials for safer alternatives, implementing engineering controls like machine guards, providing personal protective equipment, PPE, or establishing safe work procedures. The goal is to make the workplace as safe as possible. Step 5, document everything. This step is crucial, folks. Write down everything you've identified, assessed, and controlled. This documentation will not only help you track your progress and identify areas for improvement, but will also serve as proof that you're taking safety seriously. Let's look at a quick example in an office setting. Imagine you're walking through the office and you notice that the corner of a rug is always flipped up. That, my friends, is a trip hazard. Step 1, identify the hazard. Check. It's the rug. Step 2, who's at risk? Well, anyone walking through the office could trip over that rug, employees, clients, even the delivery person dropping off lunch. Step 3, assess the risk. Tripping over a rug could cause anything from a minor stumble to a nasty fall, resulting in broken bones. So the severity of the risk could be anywhere from low to high, depending on the individual and the situation. Step 4, time for control. The simplest solution here would be to remove the rug entirely. If that's not an option, you could secure the rug to the floor with double-sided tape or invest in a rug pad to prevent it from slipping. You could also put up a warning sign to alert people to the hazard. Step 5, document it. Make a note of the hazard, the assessment, and the control measures you've taken. That way you have a record of your due diligence. Here are some bonus tips to make your risk assessments even better. First up, use checklists tailored to your industry. There's no need to reinvent the wheel, folks. Lots of industries have pre-made checklists that can help you identify common hazards specific to your line of work. Next, involve your team. They're the ones on the front lines every day, so they often spot things you don't. Plus, getting their input makes them feel valued and invested in the safety process. It's a win-win. Don't be afraid to embrace technology. There are tons of apps and templates out there that can help you stay organized and keep track of your risk assessments. No more messy clipboards or lost paperwork. Train your supervisors on how to monitor controls. Once you've identified hazards and put control measures in place, someone needs to make sure those controls are actually working. Train your supervisors to keep an eye out for potential problems and report them immediately. Safety starts with awareness. A good risk assessment could be the difference between business as usual and a serious accident. Remember, a safe workplace is a productive workplace. When your team feels safe, they're free to focus on the task at hand, knowing that their well-being is a top priority. So, take the time to do it right and everyone benefits. Like, share and subscribe for more safety tips. Drop a comment if you'd like us to cover a specific hazard next.